So now, this are the standard gates that we have seen. There is also one more gate that we typically encounter. This may not be easy to visualize or see because you have to look at the electrical connections, but there is this concept of a two-way switch in your house, right? You have two switches, one at the bottom of the stairs and other at the top of the stairs. So you can turn on the light from here. When you go up, you can turn off that light. You don't have to come back downstairs to turn off the light again, right? So you have two switches, and the way that is connected is in a particular manner, and that is a logic gate called an XOR gate. But anyway, I will come to that little later. In order to discuss the XOR gate, I am going to now discuss a certain puzzle. Okay, so let us look at this puzzle so that you appreciate, it's not just about the truth table. You also have to understand what that gate is trying to do, right? So let us look at it. The XOR gate okay. So assume that I have n prisoners. Okay, I have n prisoners. And I am going to now label them as prisoner P0, P1 all the way to Pn minus 1. Get used to zero based indexing, right? I am going to do this, right? Now there is a crazy jailer. All these prisoners are supposed to be executed the next day, but there is this crazy jailer who comes and tells them that, look, I am going to now play a game, okay, where I will give you a hat. The hat is either black or white, right? You will be blindfolded. You do not know which color of what the color of your hat is, right? So you will be blindfolded and a hat will be placed on your head, right? So let me write this here: P0, P1, Pn minus 1, okay? And I am going to place a hat which is like this, okay? Prisoners are blindfolded, they do not know what the hat is, right? One guy could get a white hat, other guy could get a black hat, and so on, and they are all facing in this direction. Okay, now the blindfold is removed, okay, and what happens is, because they are all facing in this direction, P0 can see the hats of P1 to Pn minus 1. Okay, P0 does not know the color of the hat on his head. P1 can see from P2 to Pn minus 1, can see all the hats. So there is a third, P2 guy standing here with another hat, let's say white, okay, and so on. So Pn minus 1 cannot see any hat. Pn minus 1 cannot see any hat, okay. So Pn minus 1 cannot see any hat, right? So now the jailer says the game is as follows. They will start from P0, right, and ask the color of the hat on their head. So what is the color of the hat that you are wearing? If the guy gets it right, P0 gets it right, he will not be shot. He will be set free, right? But if he gets it wrong, the guy will be shot, okay? So question now is, can the prisoners come up with a strategy, okay, so that maximum number of people can be saved, okay, and how many people can be saved, right? Obviously, if every prisoner just randomly says black or white, I mean, they know it's either black or white, so they're going to, if they just randomly say black or white, the chance of them being saved is 50%, right? So which also means, by the way, just because the probability is 50% doesn't mean that they can survive, right? there's a likelihood that all n of them will die because everyone could get it wrong. Okay. So now there are, different strategies that you could think of. Now let us say P0 is able to see P1. Okay, remember the aim is to save maximum number of people. So P0 is able to see P1, then maybe one strategy could be that P0 will simply shout the color of the hat of P1, and let's say the prisoners have discussed amongst themselves that this is the strategy. So P0 will say, okay, black. Even though P0 does not know the color of his or her hat, P0 will get shot because it's a white hat. Okay. Now P1 has to guess the color of his or her hat. So P1 now knows that it's a black hat because P0 shouted black. So P1 can shout black and get away. But then P2 now has no idea. So P2 will again look at P3, okay, and say maybe the color of P3. I just shout whatever that color is. Then P3 can get saved, right? So this way all the even numbers P0, P2, P3, P4 can can potentially get shot if the color of their hat is different from the color of the hat of the odd number guy standing in front of them. Okay. So in some sense you are guaranteed to save n by 2 of them, assuming n is even. Okay. The other n by 2 is matter of chance. Question is, can we do better than this? So P1 is now looking at, P0 is looking at P1, P2, P3 all the way to Pn minus 1. Okay. So let's look at this particular strategy. P0 is able to see all the n minus 2 people in front of him or her. So the strategy that the prisoners come up with is P0 will shout white if the number of white hats happen to be odd. Okay. So let's maybe take a concrete example. Let's say this is white hat, black hat, black hat, this is a black hat, right, and this is a white hat. Okay. So I'm going to say white, black, 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 white. Okay. So logically I'm going to say the following. Okay. This is white is 1, black is 0. Okay, that's my assignment. So what we are going to say now is, so this is prisoner P0, this is P4, P1, P2, P3, P4, right? This is a white hat. So what we are going to say now is that P0 simply looks at the number of hats that he or she can see, right, and says, are there even number of white hats or odd number of white hats? If there are odd number, he will just say white. If there are even number, he will say black. Okay. So P0 sees that there is only one white hat, right, and therefore will end up shouting white as the answer. So P0, okay, I am going to write in red what they are going to shout. They will shout white. It's just by chance that this person is also wearing a white hat, and therefore P0 will get saved. Now you come to P1. Okay. P1 knows that P0 has seen an odd number of hats, okay, in front of him or her. P1 can then see there is only one white hat, right? P0 is able to see, P1 is able to see there is only one hat. P1 also knows that P0 saw an odd number of hats. because he shouted white. Okay, that means P1 therefore knows that if the number of hats in front of him or her has to be still an odd number, and also the fact that P0 saw an odd number, the only way that can happen is for P1 to actually shout to, the only way that can happen is if P1 is wearing a black hat. Because if P1 were wearing a white hat, then P0 would have seen even number of hats. But P0 saw odd, P1 is also seeing odd, and therefore this guy will shout black. Now you come to P2. Okay, P2 is able to see an odd number of hats, one white hat, right? P2 also knows that P1 has shouted the correct color of his or her hat, which is black. Therefore, now P2 knows that his hat also has to be black. He will shout black. P3 now knows P1 and P2 said black, black, and P3 is still seeing an odd number. That means this has to be black. Finally, P4, right, knows the information that P1, P2, P3 are all black, and P0 saw an odd number of hats, therefore it has to be white. Therefore, n-1 prisoners can be saved easily in this way. Only the first person or the person standing last in the queue, right, will effectively be killed with a probability of half, because it really depends on, you know, whether this answer matches this. That's all. Okay, so n-1 of them can be saved beautifully with this strategy. Okay, and just see how simple it is. You are just counting whether there are even number or odd number of ones or odd number of whites in front, right? And this is precisely what is used for parity checking, right, in error control coding, that you will see much later in your courses. Okay, so the fundamental operation to that is basically the XOR. Okay, so what is the XOR gate? In this case, by the way, I am looking at a 5 input XOR gate, because I'm looking at the state of P0, P1, P2, P3, P4, right? On the other hand, I could talk of a 2 input XOR gate, 3 input XOR gate, and so on. So the XOR gate is the following, right? The symbol is like this. Okay, A, B, and Y. So A, B, and Y. So I'll say 0, 0, 0, 1. As usual, 2 power n combinations. N is 2 here, A and B. 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so this is the truth table. Okay, so 0, 0 basically an even number of ones. I mean even number of ones, and therefore the output is 0. 0 and 1 odd number of ones, and therefore it is 1. 1, 1 again it's even number, so the output is 0. Okay, this is called an XOR gate. XOR, and typically you will write 2. Okay, or you can say call it a 2 input XOR gate. Okay, let's also look at a 3 input XOR gate just to A, B, C. Okay, A, B, and C. So again you have 8 combinations, 2 power 3, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 and 1. Okay. Again 0, 0, 0, even number of ones. So therefore the answer is 0. 0, 0, 1, odd number of ones, 0, 1, 1, even number of ones. A for the bottom half, bottom 4 combinations, 1, 0, 0 is an odd number of ones, even number of ones, even. So this is the truth table of your 3 input XOR gate. Right? Now you could also have the inverted version of these gates. Okay. For example, I could take my AND gate, 2 input AND gate, and simply connect it to an inverter. See, ultimately we are going to cascade gates. That is, we are going to take the output of one gate, feed it as an input to another gate. Okay, this is A, this is B, and I could treat this as Y. Okay. Now, if you look at this, right, so I will treat this as an intermediate output Y1. So A, B, Y1. Okay, this is just an AND gate, 1, 0, 1, 1. So the output of an AND gate is simply 0, 0, 0, 1. And the output Y is nothing but an inversion. Okay, you take 0, replace it by 1, 1 you replace by 0. So output is just an inversion of Y1. So it is 1, 1, 1, 0. Right? So this combination has a specific name. Okay, and it's represented in this manner. That inverter is just taken off and only the bubble is retained. The triangle is taken off, only the bubble is retained. A, B and Y. So this will expand to this. This is called a NAND gate. Okay. So this intermediate output is not visible to us. We just look at A, B, Y, and that's the truth table of your NAND gate. Okay. Likewise, I could also take my OR gate, feed it through to an inverter, A, B and Y, right? And this combination is what we call a NOR gate. A, B and Y. So this is called a NOR gate. Just like the NAND, AND became NAND, OR became NOR, right? And the output and the truth table is this A, B, Y. Okay. So again you can get used to, until you get used to it, you can represent this intermediate output Y1. 0, 0, 0, 1, 4 combinations, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So this is OR 1, 1, 1. Output Y therefore is just an inversion of Y1, that is 1, 0, 0, 0. Right? This is a NOR gate. So you can have a NOR 3 gate, you can have a NOR 4 gate, OR 4 gate, AND 4 gate, whatever, right? Likewise, I could also take this XOR gate that we built, right? XOR gate that we built, feed it through an inverter, A, B, Y, Y1, sorry, and this is the expansion by the way, and this guy is what I am going to call here as X, A, B, okay, and this is known as an XNOR gate, okay, A. So write down Y1 as usual for now, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and therefore the output y1 is just the counting of whether it's odd number of ones or not, 0 1 1 0. Y is just an inversion, so it's 1 0 0 1, right? So these are the most commonly used gates in the logic design, right? Now what we have really not looked at is, are there other ways to represent this particular information, right? So for example, the logic gates that we looked at had only either 2 inputs or 3 inputs, okay? Now tomorrow I could build a circuit that has 1000 inputs, okay? In that case, you cannot be representing the information or the description of a circuit by just a truth table, right? You need something else, right? Because if I have 1000 inputs, then I need 2 power 1000 states in order to define the output for every combination, and that's simply not practical, and therefore we will be looking at alternate representations going forward as well. See you in the next lecture.